Hello, hello, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to your daily dose of World of Warships Legends shenanigans. I am, of course, your host for the day, Phoenix61. Make sure you guys are following the channel. I am rocking the champagne today. If that's how you say it, right? That's how I say it. Right. But yeah, so French Tier 7 premium battleship that I don't play very much, actually, right? I think I was trying to get through like win roses or whatever for the week that were available when I played this game. So we actually had a decent game with it. So we will showcase this one. Good speed, good accuracy AP build that I've got done into this battleship, right? So we will move around towards the outside, try and support the outer flank over here, right? Not really a great ship to drive up through the middle, although no ships really are, but yeah. Right, the destroyer is fine, right? Because he can go and spot stuff for everybody, but we don't want to get into a situation where literally everyone on the enemy team can shoot us all at once, right? So we'll move out and see what gets spotted. You actually have a 20-kilometer range built into this ship, even without any battle boosters on it or anything. So get a good angle on this Missouri, and then we're going to turn away and try and get angled before he is able to fire back. And yeah, we get a Citadel there with 22,000 damage, right? First shot. Nice. Charles Martel, right? This is a quick French, cruiser, right? And he turned away just at the right time, so he may have been paying attention and noticed that we fired at him, so he got away pretty unscathed there. So then Missouri is going to be the only thing in view for us at the moment. So we'll take our shots at him again. And then another broadside cruiser shows up, right? So yeah, I have you using the reload booster whenever I get the opportunity, right? Like, I'm not too picky about using it, right? So like, I try and just like make sure I get through them in the game at some point, right? So we had already used the one, but that would have been a good opportunity there, since that Siegfried was, pretty poorly angled for us, well angled for us, poorly for him, right? So but we do get a little bit on his bow there with one bullet. And still pretty quick reload nonetheless too, right? Which, like, makes sense. You only get these 2 turrets with 3 guns on each one, right? So some pretty decent looking shell grouping. Couple more hits there. Right, and then we got a Georgia. We'll take a shot at him. It does look like he's going to continue to turn in, so I aimed a little bit lower there. And then now I'm like looking at the Missouri like, oh, that would have probably been a better shot, right? But we do get a good chunk on the Georgia. So this is working out really, really well for our side, our flank, right? We've got 2 destroyers out there. It kind of would have been nice, right? Like, if you see that, like, we've got 2 destroyers out there that are basically spotting for us, and I'm backing up so that, basically getting lucky here, none of these ships have, like, line of sight on us. Like, well, the Siegfried will now, too, but, right? And then our reload's quick enough, too, that, like, we kind of tend to go unspotted for a little bit, too, so that basically distracts that distracts enemy ships, at least in my opinion, right? They'll be like, oh, that guy's not spotted. Yeah, that was a huge whiff there. He did turn in, but yeah. But anyway, being able to go unspotted occasionally here, right, is helpful, because it'll, ships will tend to try and look for another target. And then you can come back out, take a shot, and then, hopefully draw some fire if you need to, right? Like that kind of thing, right? We've got quite a bit of health now. So, eventually here we're going to make the decision, like, okay, we've, it's, a third of the way through the game already. We're already at 10 minutes, and we haven't drawn a lot of fire. We haven't lost a lot of health, and I've got teammates that are out there, right, that could probably use some distracting from the enemy, right? So that shot on that Charles Martel looks so good when I took it, but I think he either keeps moving. Yeah, he gets away with it. Yeah, he stops just in time. So we only get we get 2 overpens hitting the front of his ship, and then, yeah. So it didn't walk away with very much there. And then, you know, we put out the fire here, right? We know that there's no destroyer threat, and then these 2 cruisers are kind of far out, right? Because we know the destroyers on the enemy team are on the other side of the map, so it's just a matter of being aware of what's on the map. But I know a lot of folks say, you know, don't ever put out a single fire. But I'm like, you know what, we're fine for the moment, right? Not too many people were shooting HE at us. And then, yeah, we tripped the reload booster here, right? So we got the really good shot on, you know, angling on this Georgia. And then we're able to get another decent hit as well, right? So it was a good time to use the reload booster. And then that way we've got them used up, right? Like if you're coming to the end of the game and you haven't used those consumables, right, you're leaving something out on the table, right? So, and then good shot on the Siegfried, right? So we're putting ourselves out there just a little bit more, right? It's a good strategy to keep in mind as a battleship player, right? You've got a big health pool in comparison to your destroyer and cruiser buddies, right? So if you can get enemies to shoot at you occasionally, right, that means you're drawing fire away from your allies that may not be able to take the hits, right? So I always say use your health pool is considered a resource, especially when you're a battleship player, right? Trying desperately to finish off this Siegfried, but he's kind of kiting away for us. And then we do have a destroyer on our team capping the zone, so that's going to put pressure on the enemy to head in that direction. If they're paying attention, right? Otherwise, we'll just walk away with the win.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Then Missouri is angled pretty well for us, right? So we'll keep firing at the Siegfried, see if we can't finish him off. Didn't lead him enough there, so it's kind of a bad shot. And then I'm slowing down, right? I'm keeping an eye on the minimap. I've got, you know, another, you know, battleship and a cruiser off to my left here that we're looking at. And then directly in front of us, there's another battleship and another cruiser. And we've got this island here between us and them, right? So we're kind of trying to limit how many ships can shoot at us at a time by keeping some, you know, some land mass in between us and the enemy. And that's going to put us unspotted, right? So we either need to back up or move forward and move around. At the moment, I'm going with backing up and seeing if we can't get decent hits on this Missouri, because he looks like he's going to move forward and turn out for us, so that'd be perfect for us. Just have to make sure we don't hit the little chunk of land here. So we'll give it a hot second before we fire, just to make sure. And it does look like he's still turning out, so we'll aim a little bit high. And that gives us high caliber there. And then definitely should have aimed I feel like I should have aimed a little bit higher there on that shot, but we did do a good chunk of damage still, so we'll take that. And then we've got our other battleship on the enemy team that's kind of moving out in front of us, right? So we're keeping an eye on our angling on the mini-maps to make sure that we're not broadside to either of these ships. We're kind of splitting the difference. And then once we finish off this Missouri, we can focus on the other guy. Right, so Georgia W, that's a great ship. It's got very, very hard-hitting, piercy bullets, I would say, right? So we'll have to be careful with him. But if he's going to give us this kind of angle, he won't last too long. It looks like he's going to start turning in probably, which would be good for him and bad for us. We'll aim a little bit towards the front. I think I probably should have aimed a little bit further forward, but he's moving pretty quickly, so I fell for it, right? And then he's turning in. I was just like panicking to try and get the shot off, right? And then now he's really well angled, so we aimed high and went superstructure there. And we're getting some secondary battery hits, right? It's the war of the ships that have mediocre secondaries, right? And then, yeah, we're going to keep aiming high here until he dies, and then, yeah, somebody finishes him off.
Our victory is in sight.
We get our first fisted medal. Get it? Assisted versus fisted, because it's a picture of a fist, right? And then, yeah, we'll take shots at the Friesland, right? Like, it's the only thing. They've got 2 destroyers left, right? Why not shoot, right? And realize that it's going to be tough to hit, but we'll take what we can get, right? We get a penetration there, right? You miss all the shots you don't take. We get another fisted medal there. We'll start turning towards the base, right? But I'm going to imagine... I think this destroyer ends up going down before we get the chance to do anything here anyway. And then we'll go through how I have the commander set up and all the other fun stuff like I typically do at the end of each video. But yeah, we're going to end with, 2 kills, 2 assists, and 152,000 damage here. And we'll take a quick peek at the leaderboard as well, like we typically do. I do this on most videos, right? Just not every single one. It just kind of depends on circumstance. But yeah, that did put us at the top of the leaderboard, 2400 XP. You know, that's a decent score. It's not a great score, right? I like to try and get around that 3,000 mark when I'm loading videos up for YouTube. But since I don't play this ship very much, right? Like I was like, all right, we should put this out there because, you know, it's just one that I don't play too often. And I'm like, you know, I had this good game and it was like, oh, I probably should have been playing this a little bit more, right? But yeah, you can see I'm using aiming system mod here, right? I think you could probably go the other one, but right, like I feel like that's what's working best for me, right? I'm using this as like I've got it built out and I'm having success as like sort of a range accuracy AP build, right? And so that's what I'm using, right? So, and same with, you'll see the same thing with the Commander 2 concealment mod there, main battery mod 3 there for the extra reload for the 4th slot, right? I probably wouldn't recommend anything else. Right, I mean, you could go AA, but not a big deal. And then, yeah, this is not high Sorcerer Baradin, right? That's a Commander Geist, right? So we're using the free-to-play Commander Robert Jujard, right? So the Sorcerer dude is, right, it's just a Geist. It's just an overlay. Makes him look different and sound different and all that other fun stuff. But yeah, Boar, so his base trait does more AP shell damage. And then we're going shell grouping and AP shell damage for inspirations. Both of those guys are free-to-play guys, right? So this is a 100% free-to-play build. And then, yeah, we're just basically focusing on range, accuracy, and AP shells, right? Gun Travert speed is fine on the ship, so I don't bother picking and building into that. And then I go main battery dispersion here. You could go on second thought for the better reload, right? And then I'm doing reaching out for more range here as well. And still don't even have this commander quite fully upgraded yet. And then I'm using Will to rebuild. My second choice would be the Fight Fire with Fire. I know a lot of folks like Fight Fire with Fire. I don't think I ever use Farsight, right? I think Fight Fire with Fire or Will to Rebuilder make the most sense there, right? Fight Fire with Fire gives you that, like, fires do less damage to your ship, and then if you get 3 fires on your ship, right, if you collect them all, it automatically puts them out if you're on damage con, right? So, but that's going to be our Champagne video for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. Please make sure you are subscribed, and then hit the bell button too to get notifications. If my going live schedule is kind of random, so if you're interested in watching me live, you know, I'm Central U.S. time, right? So I typically play in the evenings, right? So that's pretty late or early in the morning for some folks, I know, but yeah. So if you're interested in watching live, make sure you've got notifications turned on for me. And then, we do Legends videos pretty much every single day. So we will see you guys tomorrow, and thanks again.